feel paralyzed.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this, the first finals of this MGMS brought to you by ACGL and MWEB GameZone. I am Ulturism. I have been here for a long time, but one of the men that's joining me here tonight is Jar of Jam. Jar has been a fantastic addition to the casting pool of South Africa. This man is an international caster from Latvia. He's worked on Shift Pro League. He's worked on a couple of our 6v6 invitationals here in South Africa, and he's here to bring us the biggest event so far in South African gaming history. Say hello, Jar. I must admit, you've missed a lot in terms of South African Rocket League. We've had so many developments come in. Like you say, we have LAN servers, we have local servers, which means that a lot of these guys are getting to play a lot with each other, even in just casual games. So they're getting to adapt to each other's play style. What they're also able to do, though, is we've had a lot of the top players now take on more of a leadership role in the community. We've had them launching training sessions and coaching sessions. We've been hosting a whole bunch of 6v6 where random players all get together, and I cannot tell you how much it has stepped up the quality of South African Rocket League. I'm very excited because you haven't seen it in a while. I'm very excited for how much these guys have grown and how much you're going to get to see tonight. It is Rand. Apparently there's some problem with you though, that the guys cannot hear you talking to me. So I hope you guys don't mind. We're just going to pop over and try to sort that out soon. We'll be back in proper time in just a couple of seconds. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry about that little bit of technical difficulties. We should have a Jam on board. Jam, are you there?
Well, I'm definitely here. I hope I am being broadcast to all the homes in South Africa as well. Absolutely perfect.
Guys, we do have some technical difficulties here and there, but we are on board for the rest of it, and I hope there's going to be no more for the rest of tonight. As I was saying earlier, Jam is joining us, and he's been very excited, saying how he wants to see how the growth in South African Rocket League has come since we've got our own servers. Jam?
Yeah, exactly. And from what I can understand, Rocket Eclair will be represented by a good familiar face of mine, Elf. Such a shame that another good friend of mine, Cool Guy, won't be playing for his team, which I believe are the... Dang it, the name escapes me just right now.
Plakkie Klap. I must admit, I was very, very sad to hear that he was not able to make it to the qualifiers in the first round, and his team did exceptionally well without him, unfortunately for him. So they have managed to qualify. They do still have to get through this qualifiers, though, to make it through to the finals. If they don't, then he can always join up with them for the next qualifiers, as can anyone else who hasn't made it through this far so far. We have VXP, we have Rocket Eclair, and we have Plakkie Klap, all three of which have proven their might in the first qualifiers to get to this point. They're going to want to try and get a seat in that finals, though. There's only 2 slots available, which means one team is going to have to go back and try and get through the second qualifiers.
And even right now, the prize they're playing for is absolutely great. So, as I've mentioned before, 2,500 rand, which is for non-South African people, it's roughly 150 euro or 180 US dollars. So it's a sizable prize, and the second place also gets a half of that, so 1,250 rand.
Well, guys, it seems like everyone is ready to get into the lobby, to join in, and we're going to kick off our Rocket League action with our first game. It is Rocket Eclair versus VXP Elementrix.
Well, it will be a best of 5, and Nyanfo is already eager to join the Rocket Eclair team. Zebra is following suit, and we're waiting for every single other player to play. Oh, there will be a little bit of a rocket shuffle. And there we go, all players are in Elf. I'll just sit on Elf's camera for the whole match. I just want to see this man play. Let's see how this will go. Best of 5, so 3 wins will do this. This is the first match of today's stream. Well, Ult, take it away.
It's going to be interesting. We see Zebra just sitting in the goals there. Manages to fend off a good shot by Papa Capes. Immediately, VXP just trying to get onto the offensive. We have VXP in orange. In blue, my apologies, and Rocket Eclair in orange, both seeming to stick around the Rocket Eclair side for a large amount of time here. Heisenberg Luke puts in a shot there, doesn't manage anything off it, and can't clear it into the center.
It's about time that Elementrix just go back after this unfortunate, well, non-eventful attack. Heisenberg Luke wasn't even supported by his teammates as the ball dropped from the top. Now the defense comes for Elementrix because they quickly need to get in the position that Rocket Eclair started something of their own. I see that both teams prefer to go through the air, but none of them has been successful just yet.
It's all about chaining together these passes, and that's a lot of what's started happening in the South African Rocket League's community. Is the guys have now been playing together for, you know, a year or 2 years, and they've really started connecting as teams and building up a bit of synergy, and we're starting to see a lot more of these guys who they go out for a shot. Here we see Elf sitting on the floor waiting for that pass to come, and Nyanfo gets up and high, and Elf has to make a scrambling retreat. He is the more defensive of the players, and he plays a great ball back there. Heisenberg Luke looking very dangerous there in the corner, but able to be shut down by the side of Rocket Eclair.
Elf almost set up the shot for the VXP, but none to be. He does a great clear, pitches it at the wall, and out it goes. Even sets up a counterattack for his own team, which again didn't end up in anything. Both teams playing perhaps a little bit too nervously. Wonder which team will make the first biggest mistake, or which display of skill would be the one that will give us the first goal. So far it's just back and forth with only one shot recorded for Elementrix and none for Rocket Eclair. It has been a back and forth, but both teams won it and won it bad.
As we see both of them just playing around in the middle here, you can see that they're both, like you say, they both want it really, really badly, and neither of them are really prepared to give away an easy goal at this point. I mean, we're nearly half the game in, and there haven't really been any hugely aggressive shots or very dangerous opportunities. I say that now. Rocket Eclair puts it into the center. Nyanfo's turning around, trying to jump, manages to push it back down. CPZ is there, pushes it to the corner, looking to drop it down into the center there. Nyanfo gets blown up there. Papa Cape's a very aggressive player, and just he really loves the demo guy, just throws off all those rotations. We saw Nyanfo there wanting to sit in the center and receive that pass, but shut down very quickly.
That was crucial. Nyanfo was in a clear position to just get that pass, especially after VXP missed the initial pass from Rocket Eclair. But without Nyanfo in a position, nothing could be done. But slowly, Rocket Eclair are getting more and more passes done. Elf now on the flank and will be setting up something for his teammates. Now there's Nyanfo. Will this be the opener? No, Hatman right there. Or Thayman. Last time I also had troubles with this nickname. I do remember that.
That is DF the man. I think every person in South Africa has struggled with his name eventually. But DF the man, he is a great guy. I have met him personally. We went to Rage together, and he is a fantastic guy and a great Rocket League player, just playing well here in the defense, trying to get it out. Makes a nice clear to the side. Elf is looking to challenge us in the center. Nyanfo seems to be pulling it to the left-hand side of his field. Manages to get it up the wall. Loses a little bit of control though, but there is Zebra to come in behind him.
Eclair still continuing that pressure. That one shot from VXP I've talked about previously. This is still all they have. Rocket Eclair managed to put 2 on target. And assuming that's the third one, will be coming high up top left corner, and that is the opener. Finally, we have a first one, Zebra, off a pass after 2 of the players of VXP were caught up on the flank. No time to get into rotations, and no one seems to be getting off the ground. VXP seems to be bolted to that field as Zebra just puts one reasonably high, but effectively enough, 1-0.
You know, when you have so many shots in a row, then you could see them building the pressure, and that's something that Rocket Eclair has been forever known. CPZ this time sees an open goal, manages to sink it from the left-hand side. DF the man looking to get it out, accidentally pinches it backwards off his own wall. CPZ makes no mistake there as the last man. I think it was Heisenberg Luke. Doesn't expect that ball to come down and rotates for boost. And you know, CPZ he's one of the only grand champs ranked in South Africa, and you cannot expect him to miss a shot like that when you serve it to him on a platter.
Well, yeah, it was a gift from VXP, and the one that CPC definitely took. Wow, but the Nyanfo doesn't want to stay in on the backlines. No, he goes right in and scores an amazing play off the pass of an Elf with a twist in the air. Wow, this game was tied just, what, 30 seconds ago, a minute ago. Now it's 3-0 in favor of Rocket Eclair, and I'm pretty sure they will be running away with it. VXP not being able to get anything done in this match. That one shot is absolutely nothing. Finally, they've looking a little bit like they've woken up, but it took them 3 goals, and this match definitely is going in favor of Rocket Eclair.
Yeah, you saw a couple of those balls just not getting cleared nicely by both teams, and then it seemed like Rocket Eclair just managed to shake off all those, you know, first game jitters that so many teams have. And they've come back and they've put together some incredible team plays. I mean, Nyanfo managing to get a redirect from maybe the most difficult angle I've ever seen. I'm pretty sure he's going to want a copy of that video to try and put that on Reddit or something like that. It was beautiful to see. And now we see him trying for another one, coming a soft one off the corner there, but managing to get defended by the VXP side. And they've managed to get their defense a little bit more solid, but you know, they haven't managed a real striking opportunity on the other side of the field.
No, VXP had absolutely no chances in this game, and a lot must change for them to even get close to winning the game number 2. There will be a short break, it seems, as Heisenberg will be away just for a second, restarting his client. But that's 3-0. That's the first game done. Rocket Eclair have been doing really well in setting up the passes and completing the passes with some individual skill interspersed in between. Nyanfo, CPZ, and Elf work as a unit, I feel, and it's the fact that they work as a team has led to all these goals. For VXP, there have been a lot of mistakes. They look like a solid team. Is just that whatever their game plan is, maybe they need to revisit it once again and see what went wrong.
You know, I think these are best of fives, which is the nice thing. You know, a team can afford to drop one game, but when you're going against the best seeded team in South Africa from the recent competitive leg, you don't want to really give them any more of a head start than they can get together. So, you know, one game they can afford to lose that, but they need to shake it off now. They need to just get those passes, get those clears together. We saw a couple of nice shots coming in together, but no real off the backboard setups for their team. And you know, that's something that the South African community is really warming up to in recent history, is, you know, getting those backboard shots, getting those instant redirects into the goals and making it very, very difficult. A lot of the guys have become good enough and really just practice so hard that they can save any of those straight shots that come in most cases. But you cannot afford to leave your goals open like we saw in that second goal there. And, you know, they need to be able to turn that opportunity, any good defense of theirs, into a striking opportunity for themselves. Otherwise, they're going to end up in 0 goals in the end of every match.
Oh, yeah, well, counter-attacking is a crucial skill. Really clears from your own half just to relieve the pressure a little bit, get the boost control back. And the fact that you need to also be able to start a counter-attack. Just lobbing the ball on the other side of the field is good, but not good enough if you want to get the goals in. And VXP, I don't remember them being in attack. I know there were 2 shots, but it feels like they never got a chance at all in front of Rocket Eclair's net.
They started off the game really nicely on a good offensive thing, and I think that was the last time we really saw them. You know, they played very quickly in the beginning, and I think that's what they need to be able to do now to take a second game now back into their favor, where they need to wait for Rocket Eclair to maybe get caught up in the corners, maybe get locked themselves into the corners, and you know, use that overcommitting of the Rocket Eclair side to now turn around and make a very quick offensive attack to turn around and maybe put some pressure on the orange goals.
Definitely the speed from VXP was there, and the beginning of a match, really, we couldn't separate them. They were going at it back and forth for pretty much the half of the match. Just that VXP has slowed down just a little bit and made some crucial mistakes in their rotations, and they couldn't stop Rocket Eclair. And, well, defense was lacking and the offense was also lacking, but it's a fresh start. So 0-0, there's no more pressure of having to play back from 3 goals. So for VXP, it's a great chance to just start anew and show what they really are capable of.
I'm very excited for this next game. We're going to be jumping into that in just a couple of seconds, guys. If you are just tuning in, this has been one game so far into the MGMS Rocket League Finals, final qualifier for Finals for the first qualifier. Sorry about that. I really should get some water there. The first qualifiers for the MGMS Rocket League tournament, brought to you by ACGL and MWEB GameZone. Guys, this has been a great game so far. We saw Rocket Eclair come and take the first game. We're wanting to see now if VXP can take the second. If they don't, they're going to have to go down into the loser bracket finals to face Plakkie Klap, in which case that is an elimination match.
Yeah, well, there's still one chance for them at least. For the other team, it's obviously that's it. Plakkie Klap, if they lose that, they're completely out of it. But they still have a chance to return back to the upper bracket and play against whatever team will stay up in the upper bracket and win this. Ulturism, I believe we are still waiting on you.
I should have been pulled in with you when we were doing the party match, when you joined the party match. It seems like I need to be joining. Guys, it is my mistake. You know, all my fault, so we will be joining back.
One more time.
Yeah. You know,
I forgot you. I'm such an unresponsible caster. I forgot my co-caster. Didn't bring him to the match. Wow, I'm so sorry. All right, there you are. Sorry, there was like a bouncer at the door, and he didn't want to let Ulturism in. Finally, I've talked to him. I sort of offered him some money. Ulturism back into the match. VXP and Rocket Eclair can start their game number 2 of this best of 5.
You know, it's Nyanfo. It's just such an intimidating player that I didn't want to spend too much longer in the lobby with him than I really wanted to. So guys, we are back. We're getting into it now. Elf sitting at the back versus Heisenberg Luke on the other side there, waiting to get into this. Nyanfo instantly pushes it to the other side of the field, but a little bit of miscommunication there from the blue side, VXP, and Zebra actually manages to slip it in. Ball just got knocked into the center here by a bad play between Heisenberg Luke and DF the Man. Both of them thought they had it and left the ball just trickling into the center, and CPZ showed his lethality in that previous game, and you can't let him start 5 seconds in like that.
Oh, but what a mistake. You never want to sit under the ball in such a high-ranked match. Like, this never works for you. Usually the opposing team always comes to you with momentum and takes that ball off your head. So not only the fact that they put one man under the ball just waiting for this, there was also the fact that they double committed on it, and now it's a 2-0 after another mishmash of players on the flank for VXP. Couldn't get the ball down, like three players on the flank. DF the man without any boost, so relying on his teammates to get something done, and Rocket Eclair quickly make this 2-0. And unfortunately, nightmare for VXP continues. They are now with a great chance to claw back. If the opposing team has scored 2 goals, you can score 2 goals as well. But it feels like the hands are shaky, arm spaghetti, and everything else. Amazing save that could probably boost their confidence right now. But they need to get something going, at least to get some control at first, and slowly progress to the goal of Rocket Eclair.
You know what I'm seeing though is a lot of double play where they need someone to go for the ball and then they miss it or play a bad shot, and it takes a second person to try and commit to it and make that save or make that clear. And you know, that's what starts getting into a problem, is as soon as someone gets boost starved, as soon as someone doesn't get the perfect hit or there isn't that last man back, you know, you made one or two many of these mistakes and you've been put under too much pressure. CBZ, they're actually just pushing it left of the goals. A rare miss by him, but close. And Elf, in fact, manages to pick up the third goal of this game. It just seems like Heisenberg, Papa, and Def the man are not able to clear that ball and just alleviate some of that pressure between themselves. They need a clean hit to get this out.
VXP were already thinking about the attack on this one, and DF the man on the flank going to the attack, and then the angle at which he had to save just was too drastic for him. He couldn't do that, and that's a 3-0, and Rocket Eclair completely put this one on his head. Previous game, at this point, it was still a 0-0 with not that many shots. Obviously, by the end of it, Rocket Eclair has put, I think, about 10 or so, definitely like 8 or something. And now they're putting 5 already, 3 goals with VXP not being able to do anything in the attack. We still haven't seen them. That's their first chance, and that's their first goal. Crucial one at this point. Papa Capes was also playing a little bit shaky in the defense, not getting a couple of these connections done. DF the man on this attack, I feel, has confused Rocket Eclair just a little bit, pulled out many of the Rocket Eclair players onto him, which allowed Papa Capes to shove this one in the net.
Certainly great play there. Elf had no idea where to put that ball down. He was up for it. Now we see CPZ with a long shot. Papa Capes making a good rotation though, and Elf is sitting on that wall. I mean, he's known as the Spider-Man in South Africa. The number of shots that man has managed to put in from, you know, 3/4 of the way up the left wall just comes out of nowhere to either air drag it in or just take a flying shot, fly for 10 seconds and then get a beautiful read off the backboard. That man is incredible when it comes to those shots. So when he's sitting on those walls, it's very, very dangerous time for VXP.
You can still see that Rocket Eclair are really great at catching VXP off guard with no man back. Just the precision perhaps is a bit of a problem for Rocket Eclair, as they aren't able to put a long shot onto the net, but really at this point they don't need it. Elf with a great attack on the flank. They love that right post. I have to say, 2 shots on that right post, and VXP once again find themselves in defense. They found 1 shot on the attack due to that Papa Capes goal, but that's about it. They haven't been in the attack at all. Elf and the rest of the Rocket Eclair team are really great at stopping them, and look at that again. Luke and the rest of the VXP are going out of their way to grab that boost, and every single time they do that, they don't read the run of the play, and Rocket Eclair just find the goal absolutely empty.
And they're putting themselves under a lot of pressure, exactly like you say. There we see them both committing, and the last man back, Def the man, flips to the side. Zebra has an open goal, puts it into the top left-hand corner, manages to get his hat-trick just because of the double commit by the VXP side, and it seemed like Def the man was maybe just a little too far up to manage to get that ball, just trying for anything. Feels bad, Flip man. Everyone does it. But this is unfortunately not a good time to make that mistake.
For him it was actually a side flip, but doesn't change the result, the eventual result, as the FDM completely whiffs that. If he had enough speed on it and enough boost and quick half flip, he could have gotten back to it, but just wasn't meant to be. Let's see how Zebra can do that. Well, at least he gets the touch on it. How's the air skills of Heisenberg? Whiffs it. Wow, it's yet again, it's VXP find themselves in the last 90 seconds, 3 goals down, may almost make that 4 goals down, as Elf plays that slowly. Great play by him. He doesn't just punch it straight into the net. No, he waits for VXP because he sees that they will be first on the ball. He better blocks them, or if they overcommit on it, like jump on it too hard, they can even shoot it onto target. VXP are staring down the second defeat of the series, with Rocket Eclair putting even more shots than the previous game and definitely taking control of the whole game. We haven't seen them make many mistakes, and really what they do with VXP on the field seems like child's play at this point.
Really nice play there by Rocket Eclair. They're coming back again, very aggressive towards it. Nyanfo looking for that tight angle, not able to get it this time. You know, we have seen that he's able to. There we see Elf actually misreading it off the corner. Ball floats down in front of the net, but Zebra actually manages to make the rotation around, slows it down a little bit, maybe just lets his team go back and get some boost. Manages to actually beat out 2 players there by dunking them nicely. Now it's Nyanfo to come for it and pushes it back into the blue side. Elf is on the wall. This is where he loves to be. Not able to push it well to the center, but Zebra is there to push it around, and they have pulled out 2 of the VXP players. Now Nyanfo manages to read the final pass, just kept pushing from that left-hand corner. Papa Apes pushes it back now, over-dedicates. Zebra goes up on the wall, pushes it back down, and Nyanfo has full trust in his teammate. We see the Hellfire coming out from an excellent shot there.
CPZ, wow, you can see this goal happening from a mile away, and what a great goal it was, with 2 of the VXP players on the flank, losing the duel, with Elf going back and setting up the shot. Sorry, I do believe that was an Elf, but will it be another one? No, the post again denies that, but 5-1 yet again, just as 3-0 in the previous game, is just enough to make this victory. And really, for what I see on the field is that VXP sometimes can't believe their chances. Those rare moments that they get on the attack and get in front of the net with a chance to shoot, so they just are surprised by the fact, wow, we can shoot, there's a chance, and they miss. So, like, look at that. 12-1 shots. You can see that the difference in the quality of these teams is, well, with a naked eye. Rocket Eclair, 4 goals, or rather 5 goals, 4-goal difference. It's an amazing play by them. And again, they work as a team. VXP tried to do that, but really it's lacking in many, many ways.
You know what I seem to see though is when the Rocket Eclair guys are working as a team, it's building passes together, setting each other up for shots or clears, you know, passing it back so that the person coming up can get a better shot or something like that. Whereas when I see the VXP side, it seems like they're more trying to cover each other's mistakes. They've got a guy going up and they send a second guy up to it just in case the first guy misses. Or they've got a guy maybe putting a save in, putting it to the corner, and then another person has to try to clear it out. Whereas the Rocket Eclair guys, the ball comes anywhere near their net. It takes one guy on a good pinch or a nice clear to just get it out there, and then they can build together as a team. And it just seems like VXP is trying to hemorrhage the scoring of goals, whereas Rocket Eclair is using that team synergy to build an attack rather.
Yeah, when you immediately go into the game with the intention of just stopping all of that, yeah, we can just see that VXP, whatever game plan they have, it's becoming undone. It's not working for them at all, and Rocket Eclair just do whatever they want. Whatever they envision to do on the field, it happens, and the scoreline is showing of that. Well, we still have 1 more game to go. There's still a chance for VXP to do a reverse sweep. We do obviously love to cheer for that every single time. Like, reverse sweep, reverse sweep. But who knows what will happen. VXP have, like, chances are they won't be able to do this in 5 minutes. Like, this requires a much bigger change in their game style, in their skill level, in understanding how each other plays. But miracles do happen. All they need is 1 goal and then keep their net empty. They have scored only 1 so far in the previous game, and the scoreline difference right now is 8 goals to 1. It's unlikely, but weirder things have happened. This is Rocket League.
You know, the best thing is that these 2 teams did actually face off at the recent Rage Championship, where they played for the top prize in South Africa up till now. This competition does overtake that in its magnitude of players and actual prize pool. So, and it is the first competition to actually be hosted on local service, which makes it very, very interesting. And you know, these 2 teams did have to face off at that point. Rocket Eclair did manage to take them down in that competition. So VXP, I'm sure, is wanting just a little bit of retribution for that sort of punishment in the last games. But you know, there's also going to be a little bit of psychological challenge to your team there. You know, we are playing the best team in South Africa. We are playing against the guys who beat us last time. And, you know, there's got to be just a little bit of, you might be trying to play outside of your own play style. You might be trying to play too fast for what you normally play for, and instead end up over committing or rushing into plays that you normally wouldn't play. So, you know, it's very interesting to see the psychology between these teams starting to come out after this long playing each other.
Well, if you are, well, I have a lot of thoughts racing in my mind right now. Not know which one to grab and put towards you. But really, if this is the real test, if you can't keep up with the pace of the best team in South Africa, well, sorry, you are not supposed to be here then, or at least you will lose, as we currently are seeing. If this is not what they're used to, if they're used to playing on lower speeds or perhaps on lower skill level, well, they can still kind of practice, obviously. I do believe that with the introduction of South African servers, you guys will start getting more and more grand champs, as it will be now much easier for you to play and get those ranks. But it's also practice. I really hope that some of your guys are still playing on either a European or North American server, if ping permits that, because that's where the biggest names are and that's where the biggest challenges are.
I know that a lot of the players are still playing on the EU servers. It's nice to have these local servers if, you know, you're doing a warm-up for an event like this, or you just want some casual plays. I've jumped on there, and you got to know how friendly the guys are, because most of us have played in the same scene for months, and you know, so you meet the guy in the game that you sat next to at the Rage competition, or you've been playing against in competitive ladders for the last couple of months. It's really nice and friendly there. But if you want competitive play, like you say, all the great players are in NA or EU. So when you can get that still 200 ping odd, it's playable. We've been growing up playing this for the last 2 years. And so a lot of the guys are still maintaining their ranks and maintaining their skill brackets by playing against these international guys on the European servers, and that's really interesting. And it's interesting to me to see, though, that if they adapt their styles between them, because there is a very big meta difference between how the Europeans play and how a lot of the South Africans play. A lot of the South Africans don't have the ability to have really nice big aerial plays or air drags, or, you know, pull it off the wall really well. So the guys are much more constrained to the ground. So Rocket Eclair, I know, has spent a lot of time practicing on the EU servers, where, you know, they play against these teams that are very aerially proficient in there, and being able to play in the air and make it a three-dimensional game instead of a lot of the guys from South Africa.
Yeah, well, that's the air is often the name of the play, but it's not just the air. It's the control of the backboard. It's the aerial passes, and even the passes on the ground. I've seen a lot of teams, perhaps on the lower class, but even some of the RLCS teams playing a new style of game. Perhaps it has died down just a little bit, but I still love to see this when they play that, when they do a series of quick passes on the ground, because whenever you get a passes going anywhere, specifically on the ground, the speed of the ball just increases, and all of a sudden you can have ball moving from one flank to the other in a blink of an eye, even on the ground, without the opponent being able to react to that. And that is, I feel like, is even available to South African players, especially now on the ping. That really is fantastic. I've seen some of the guys having like 8 ping. I'm pretty sure previously it was like, what, more than 100. It was crazy, and you guys still did amazingly.
We've had guys up to 280 ping, is what a lot of guys have been stating, that's their constant. So, you know, when you can manage to drop 250 ping or something like that and come in, it means that we have a lot of guys who can now go for those redirects. I mean, a lot of our guys were managing to do redirects on the European servers. So you now drop that down and you get so much more time to just get your car in the correct position and make sure that everyone's at the right place and read that play very, very well. Also, what's changed a lot of the playing styles of these players is you can go for 50-50s with a lot more confidence. You can now read the play of the other player as well as where the ball is. You know, read what their animations of their car is saying, how they're going to hit it. Are they going to hit it down, or they're going to try hit it above you, and change your car to compete against that. And that's something that, you know, we didn't have the luxury of doing previously, and that really shows itself at the upper levels. And I think that's what Rocket Eclair is utilizing really, really well, is maybe a couple of the nuances that some of the other teams have maybe not caught onto as quickly.
Well, they better. It's a part of the game. You have to have some of those skills to be able to play on the highest levels of Rocket League. So it's time for them to adapt. There are no excuses anymore. And for Rocket Eclair, like, if you're saying that the top teams are still playing on the European servers, And it's no excuse that, oh my god, the ping was bad. No, these guys have learned it, these guys have perfected it, and these guys are the best players in South Africa right now, perhaps even in the whole Africa. Perhaps, you know, how's the Rocket League scene in general on Africa, at least in the southern part of it?
We don't actually have a lot of connection with a lot of the northern or middle African nations. They don't seem to have a lot of esports presence in the world. So while we're talking about that, the guys are joining into the lobby, so we are ready to go. We are looking forward to the third game between these guys. Seems like Papa Capes has sorted out a little bit of his problems. So the guys are ready to play. We are going to jump into the match. And it is now all up to VXP to see if they can bring it back. This is a best of 5. If they drop another one, they go into the loser bracket finals, and they have to play for that redemption chance against Plakkie Klap.
Well, so far with the game that has been unfolding, CPZ yet again. They start this one with a bang. Well, Rocket Eclair goes to the moon and I think beyond, maybe to the Mars with the plays like that. No chances for VXP to even get anything done. 1-0 after. Really, VXP need to compose themselves. Like, they had some time, they had time to rethink and maybe shake off some of that, some of the nerves. Definitely after 2 games you have to. It still isn't the case, and Heisenberg Luke just sticks himself on the post and Nyanfo walks this ball in. Where is the rest of the team? The rest of the VXP is in the attack, and CPC leaves. Wonder what's up with that. His team is definitely winning. Ultimately, you know, in a situation like that, do we wait? I do believe we wait for CPZ.
Unfortunately, I don't think there is a pause option. I'm not head of the lobby, unfortunately, so I think you can pause. But I see he has come back online. He is on my friends list, so I'm sure his team will be okay to play. Just for these, they are 2 goals up, so you know they're probably just going to keep playing. He's going to join the next couple of seconds. I think the option is there to pause, but it seems like no one's really too worried about it. He has rejoined into our match, so Jeff the Man now pushing out Nyanfo, looking to pop it back. Drops it back down to Zebra in that corner, but Jeff the Man pushes it into the center. Heisenberg Luke is first up, but misses it completely. Pulls up 2 of the Rocket Eclair players, but when you're not putting a shot on the net, it doesn't matter how many people you make to commit to a shot. If you can't follow it up, if you can't put these shots in, you're not really going to be doing anything by building pressure.
Now, VXP are just doing the same thing. They are in the attack, but the moment they have a chance on shot, they just whip it. Heisenberg Luke showing it just there, but Elf had to endure, and the rest of his team had to endure a couple of great shots in the bottom left corner of DF the man. Finally gets something done for his team. It took them a while, and obviously that's just only the 2nd goal of the game. But that is a good start for a comeback. First of all, VXP are finally putting the pressure. The thing that we haven't seen them doing in the past 2 matches easily. If they continue this style and knowing that they could even score a goal while CPZ was away and they didn't use their chance, perhaps they can be playing a little better, but Nyanfo decides, no, we'll stop this, our own goal bleed right now. 1 goal bleed will be enough. Great starting play right from the flank. I do believe all 3 players participate in that one. Rocket Eclair immediately get this back to 2 goal difference with a great passing play off the wall in the air. That's what you mentioned. These guys know how to play in the air now. They're confident playing in the air, and it shows.
It's really nice bit of play there. Such a nice combination. Nyanfo just reading exactly where Elf was wanting to go. Manages to get his car up, and all he needs is 1 little twist at the end to get it around. Now we see if DF the Man taking it a long way around, manages to get another touch. Actually knocks it out of the way of Heisenberg Luke, and you know, now they're setting themselves back up. A pass there basically from Papa Capes to Elf, manages to put it high. Zebra makes a good shot, and ball now pitches back. This is the time that VXP really needs to make something happen here. They've got it in front of the goals. It drops down. No one's there. 2 men were in the air. DF the Man couldn't commit to that in case, but it just seemed that that might have been a chance that they really needed to make happen.
Another one for VXP, and DF the Man was a little bit too cautious. I can understand him playing a little bit defensively, not wanting to concede a goal from the counterattack if that will come from Rocket Eclair. Perhaps a little bit too much, and if Heisenberg Luke himself was on the attack, he was the 2nd man getting attempted that shot. Couldn't get anything done either. Perhaps a wild bounce did mess up with his plans just a little bit. CPZ on a dribbling rampage, and he can score that. Crossbar denies him. Elf on the follow-up. That's still not in. Can anyone score this? Pose denies him yet again. Rocket Eclair still looking for a goal as a whiff comes from D of the man, and the ball somehow rolls back to the center field. There had to be at least 5 goals in that attack, and yet not a single one was scored.
Man, that was heartbreaking. But now we see that pass coming across. Elf manages to pick up the assisting trophy there, the playmaker. Just managing to read that off Heisenberg Luke's attempt to clear, and Zebra comes across at a blistering pace, manages to tap it into that back left-hand corner. 3-goal lead now for the side of Rocket Eclair.
Bravo, well done for Rocket Eclair. The fact that CPZ actually stayed in the attack, he stole the boost from VXP. Then I was assuming he was going back, but he immediately read the play as it was unfolding, so that Elf is actually in control of the ball. And a double commit against from VXP, both on defense and offense. They don't have the communication. It'll be enough for one man to go there and not spoil the plans of the other one. I feel like in the air they're just getting in each other's way. Passing plays, like try to do something in style of Rocket Eclair, but if you're not used to that, you shouldn't be starting practicing them right now. You should be practicing them in competitive matches or just in practice in some scrims, but not right now. VXP needs to return to some style of play that they're okay with. Look at that. They are letting Rocket Eclair set up these passing plays. You can see that from a mile away, and yet VXP are just feeling that they should be just sitting in the net waiting for a shot to come. Papa Capes, with his 2nd goal of the series, gets one going after a great redirect. One short little bounce with no one from Rocket Eclair reacting to that one. 2-goal difference, 1 minute remaining. If VXP want to start a comeback, well, now is the best time. Let's see how that 1 goal will change the way they're playing the game.
See Papa Capes getting a nice shot, now rolls towards the Rocket Eclair goals there, and it seems like just managing to read this perfectly off here, manages to tap it over Zebra and Elf. Nyanfo was looking for it on the other side of the field, maybe getting a little bit too overconfident. 50 seconds left, and now all they need to do is get that 1 goal back to put it in here and put it into a fighting shot for themselves. Heisenberg Luke puts it towards there, but it seems like Rocket Eclair has slowed down a little bit. Now they don't want to make that same mistake again.
Well, yeah, the kick-off suddenly started working in favor of VXP. And for Rocket Eclair, there has been a couple of mistakes that now their communication is a little bit broken down. They can't decide which player would go for the ball. Zebra was on that last goal, just basically, what was he even doing in that position? That wasn't his position at all. He didn't go anywhere. He didn't go for a ball. He didn't go back for a flank or just in the attack. He just drove past. He immediately fixes that by a great shot, top right corner. Out of nowhere, actually, that was just off the wall as a setup for DF the man. And the precision is finally there. Wow, no chances on saving that from Papa Capes.
Can you get any closer to that corner? I'm pretty sure it hit both the upright and the crossbar at the exact same time there to get in there. I mean, that was, you talk about upper 90 shots, that must have been an upper 99% shot to get it in there. And great redirect, and that's what's really keeping Rocket Eclair in this dominating seat, is they're making those chances count. They're making sure that any time they see a goal like that, the ball gets sunk into the back of the net, finds that netting, and here you just see that VXP has got individual talent. You cannot deny it, but it seems like their teamwork just let them down a little bit, where they had too many people overcommitting to certain goals, and they just, couldn't finish them off, and then it became an easy turnaround for the side of Rocket Eclair.
Well, for VXP, this has been the best match of the series. Unfortunately, this is the last match of the series. If the whole best of 5 has started with this game, this will be really promising. Same amount of shots for both teams, active plays from all the players, but this is way too late. I'm interested in seeing how VXP will play in the losers bracket, whether they will be able to get anywhere from there, or whether Plakkie Klap will get one and get to the winners finals back up and play against Rocket Eclair. But wow, Rocket Eclair is certainly showing why they're one of the best teams. The way that they're playing, you can see that in their play, just how sometimes without any effort they set up the passes and the goals. You better beware. You better beware. Anyone that comes in their way, well, Plakkie Klap or rather VXP will be playing against them later on in the winners finals. So there's a little break for them. I believe the next match is VXP versus Plakkie Klap.
Guys, we'll be back in a couple of seconds with that match. go grab some water, make sure you're comfortable, because we're going to bring you the loser bracket finals in just a few minutes. Plakkie Klap versus VXP. Loser goes home, winner goes back to take on Rocket Eclair in that finals to play for that money. Also, the winner of this next game guarantees themselves a seat at the final event next year. So there is a lot to play for in this next game coming up. We'll see you then. Cheers. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready for the next game. It is going to be VXP Elementrix versus Plakkie Klap. They're ready to join in the lobby. They've actually started in there. We're going to be jumping over there with no time to waste.
Well, we've seen VXP on the field, and, well, their play has left something to be desired. And, well, Gingerbread with a huge miss straight at the beginning. Bayonet can't deal with it either, and maybe that will be a quick opener for VXP. Something that they definitely missed in the previous game against Rocket Eclair, but that's not meant to be. And the first couple of seconds are exploding with action that both of the teams really want this to get done.
We see again, instantly, this problem of VXP. 2 men up, leaving Heisenberg Luke as the last man back, and he wasn't even in a good position. His car was facing backwards there. Papa Capes is going to need to make a good clear here. Puts it out nicely, puts it to Gingerbeard though, and a little bit of ping pong comes out. Heisenberg Luke now though needs to send that a long ball and instead puts it into his side, slowing the game down a little bit, but now he's got to get past Mr. Noble. Pinches off and Gingerbeard is looking there. Papa Capes picks it up on his roof though, makes a dribble. Gingerbeard's there to clear it out.
We can certainly definitely see that VXP are going at it actively, and wow, that's the first opening goal for them. The other man finds the whole side of Plakkie Klap in a confusing position. They got it rotated, but I feel like Heisenberg Luke just demolished Snowball. Gingerbeard completely with the whole thing. Bayonet wasn't even close. Wow, VXP with a great start for this one, but it's a lot of mistakes from both of the teams. It could be just a whole slew of one after the other, and it'll be whoever will keep out the whoever will make the least of the mistakes rather than make the best plays on the field. So
far it seems to be that the aggressive style coming out from the side of VXP seems to be paying off. I mean, their ability to demo the last man back there could really pay dividends in this match. A lot of these teams, Plakkie Klap is a team I know that is very reliant on, having someone back there and having that security of having a man in the goal to make that last save. And if they're relying on that guy and then you come through and take him out, they could be left high and dry very quickly. And here we see a nice tap into the center. Heisenberg Luke doesn't manage to read that in time though. Just puts himself a little bit short. The ball goes over the top of him, but it's very nice to see VXP trying to make some aggressive plays here. Great save there by Papa Capes. Manages to push it to the side there. But it's not over yet. Plakkie Klap looking to make some great offensive opportunities coming in.
It seems to be really an even game as both of the teams getting those chances in the attack. We see Plakkie Klap playing from the backboard, something that maybe not always has worked for the teams in South Africa, as we've discussed previously. Again, I'm really glad to be here and back and see what you guys are capable of. And right now, it's what you're capable of. It seems to be like quick, decisive attacks. No goals, with the exception of one, and a great chance right there from the air. Wow, really, the VXP suddenly has come alive. The fact that they are so much more confident going into the air, well, speaks volumes. Maybe it was Rocket Eclair's extremely aggressive play style that just they couldn't keep up with. But right now, they look like the air is their second home, or just the first home as it is, with Heisenberg starting yet another attack on the flank.
See them starting to also try and chain a couple of passing plays together there. I think it might have just been a mentality game there. They tried to just step up their pace too much. They tried to hurry aerial plays and ended up just jumping wrong, in fact, instead of playing a nice dedicated play. Here they've got that extra second or two, they feel, and they can get up, get the right jump, get the right angle, and put together some really nice offensive shots there. We saw one nearly go into the top corner, but I think it was Gingerbeard making a preemptive save, is the only way I can put that, just because of how quickly it came there. Bayonet coming in the air there, voraciously knocking out that attack, coming in high on those shots is now the VXP side, and both teams picking up the pace more and more, and it seems like both teams want to make sure that they sink another goal here. VXP with the lead for now doesn't feel comfortable enough with that 1-goal lead against this side of Plakkie Klap.
1-0 is not enough. Could be enough if the game just ends like that, but you've seen the VXP themselves suddenly score 2 or 3 in a row. That was the last game that they did against Rocket Eclair, and they themselves know how difficult it could be. Heisenberg with a great save, because that was going straight in. We've seen a couple of whiffs from him in the previous games, and right now he is solid as can be. prepares that clear, not as far as he would have liked, but he is now the top man in defense. 2 saves already on him. I'm surprised that didn't count as a save because he was on the line saving that shot from Plakkie Klap. And Plakkie Klap continuously find themselves 3 members in front of the VXP's net. Look again, Dayman and Heisenberg just completely moved to the other side. Gingerbeard with a great attempt. He was coming under that counter attack. He was the 3rd man waiting. And in the end, he was the only one who got on the end of that one. Tied game with 30 seconds to go. This should be an exciting one. This doesn't look like the 3-0 sweep we've seen previously.
No, I must admit, both teams certainly looking alive here. Nice long shot comes out. Bayonet was dangerous previously, following up those balls. Bounces down to the center, but Papa Capes makes a good rotation around now. Gingerbeard just playing this lovely defensive role here at the back. Goes up for this, knocks it out. Def the man not wanting to overcommit. Heisenberg Luke reads it behind her, but Bayonet constantly in the air, it seems, just wanting to make sure that he's always up first for those shots. Now drops down in the center. We do have our first overtime in this competition.
Welcome VXP and Plakkie Klap. Now you're playing for the sudden death overtime, and Gingerbeard better beware. He took a little loop to just get back to the ball, and with DF the man setting up, being set up for the play by his teammate, the man, or rather that was Papa Capes. They just couldn't get anything done. The passing play still lacking on the side of VXP. They tried to get something done, but it feels like they're not used to them, or they haven't done enough. A lot of them are still missing. Perhaps just go back on the ground, just forget about the air, get some demolitions going. We've already seen that Heisenberg Luke, that initial goal by VXP was made purely because the defenders of Plakkie Klap were taking out of the goal. The rotation was completely destroyed, and that result with the man goes for demolition right there on Mr. Noble, but he couldn't get it, and in the end he almost endangered his own net.
Certainly, it's that chaos that we see coming out from both of these sides. Especially from the VXP side, though, is, you know, they go there and they either want to demolish the guy, cause a little bit of consternation in the side of the Plakkie Klap bench there. Now we see a really nice play coming together. Heisenberg Luke sitting under DF the man's dribble off the wall here. Really nice read off the wall, just connects it, pulls it over the side, over Bayonet, and Heisenberg Luke slotted. That's the passing plays that we've been wanting to see from this VXP side, and they finally managed to chain them together and get an incredible goal to finish off that and take the first game.
VXP caught Plakkie Klap under rotation, and Mr. Noble was in the net, but by the time he got into the net and turned around, it was already late for him to go in the air where Heisenberg Luke was with his dad and pass from the man. Great play by them. VXP found themselves a little bit of a more even opponent, a little bit closer to their skill. So the next couple of matches should be exciting ones. I don't predict any more complete sweeps, because that seems like 2 teams playing to their at least the speeds at which the teams are playing look more comfortable to each other. VXP, well, let's see if they can get through this and get back into the upper bracket to face again Rocket Eclair once more, or whether Plakkie Klap will actually show up on the field, because Bayonet, Gingerbeard, and Mr. Noble, all 3 of them look like solid contenders. Just whether they will be able to show their strength in defense and their ability in the offense as well.
Well, we see a ball going early now towards the blue goal now. VXP won't want to give away anything at this point. They just got it, and it just seems that they were allowed to play more of their style in this previous game compared to their attempts against Rocket Eclair. Now we see Gingerbeard up quickly there. Just misreads his angle a little bit wrong. Bayonet sitting very far back, not able to pull that off. Now he has to push it towards the own goal. Gingerbeard is there to just, you know, make sure, gets it over the top of Heisenberg Luke there, and just a nice bit of team play here. You can see when they're communicating a lot more effectively than the VXP side. Instantly there's a call made where, you know, it's my ball, and the player pulls out. He doesn't wait for that. He doesn't just, maybe I can try for the shot. No, he's out. He gets there. Def the man sets it into the center, but, you know, he maybe just wasn't communicating with his team that, you know, guys, I'm coming in. Be ready for the pass. Or they just didn't have that confidence in him to make that pass, and no one was there to follow up.
And right there, the whole attack of XP breaks down, as they were just previously in the attack. The man took too much on himself, and as the bounce really doesn't work out for Papa Capes, Mr. Noble find themselves a solo effort on the flank. Yeah, really, it's what you mentioned, the fact that the communication of Plakkie Klap is looking so much better. It's also the fact that both of these teams, I feel, are playing a little bit passively. Like we've seen VXP just wait in the goal, despite them being so much more closer to the ball, and Gingerbeard just coming in from the air slowly and getting his chance. No, you must be much more proactive to get an upper hand against these teams. VXP, well, rather Plakkie Klap with a goal, but there's still plenty of time for both of these teams to change the score line. But it does seem like the Plakkie Klap are looking much more confident. Bayonet doesn't score this, as no one can get this Mr. Noble with a backwards shot, bringing this in with his teammate already coming in. Okay, this is a turnaround. This is a great turnaround what Plakkie Klap has been looking for. Again, for VXP, it's the same problems as in the previous game against Rocket Eclair. They aren't in the defense. They're completely getting caught off guard whenever they need to return back.
So, their Bayonet maybe just not so impressed about his goal being stolen there. He tried so hard to get that out, and you know, it was an open goal there, and Heisenberg Luke came out of nowhere to play for that and managed to make that save. Thankfully for the side of Plakkie Klap, though, they were able to finish that off. Mr. Noble was there, sits there, and now it's 2 goals for the side of Plakkie Klap.
Hey, it's a team game. Whenever you score a goal, it's a goal for the team. It's not for you, unless you want to pad your stats. Like it's not as important. Obviously, it's just a joking for periods, saying like, okay, well, Gingerbeard just find themselves yet again in front of that. Look at that, VXP all on the flank in the big bunch. No one's defending that one. Heisenberg Luke again not hearing or not listening or just not even seeing that the man is coming for that ball. That results in the wasted boost, in yet another chance to counterattack from Plakkie Klap. And the mistakes, those problems that we've seen previously are still showing up for VXP. First of all, they are again playing from behind. When they're playing from behind, they're taking even more risks than usual, and their defense is more often than not is completely missing from that back line. Now there's a rare chance in this game for them for the attack, but as we've seen previously, the man starts something on the flank, and then his team is nowhere near. Even if he gets the ball to the center, no one's there to support him.
They just really need to coordinate their attacks. I think a lot of what amateur players or inexperienced players, as they see these professional games. Here we see Papa Capes though reading that. This time he was actually able to get up into the air, reads this beautifully now, sees that pinch there and manages to read it between 2 of the Plakkie Klap sides, and finally going up into the air and giving some support to his dribblers. But you know, that's what pros do. Is everyone always asks, you know, what sort of formation do you play in Rocket League when they're not 100% sure? Do you play 1 in the back and 2 forward or something? You've got to keep that rotation between all of your players. Everyone needs to either play attack together or they need to defend together. You can have someone a little further back, but you know, if you've got one guy pushing an attack and there's no one there to help him out, it doesn't matter how good his pass is. If no one's there and they're both just trying to sit in the defense, making sure that they don't concede any more goals, which is something that happens with a team that's 2-0 down. They just get a little bit scared and they go, you know, what happens? We can't afford to keep letting them score. And then they get themselves 2-0 at the end of the game. They stop the scoring, but they don't put any on the board themselves.
Yeah, at that point, obviously, it's too late. And rotations are the king. Not because you constantly are getting people in a position to either shoot or stop shots from coming in, but also the fact that you keep the play going. And that's a 2-2, by the way. While we were talking, VXP got a little job done, just suddenly shaking up whatever problems that has been plaguing them. And they found themselves with in front of an open net, and that is a tied game. And VXP are now looking to bring this back, perhaps, to a 2-0 for them in the series. At least the kickoff yet again goes in their favor. They are quite good at scoring a couple of goals in sequence, one after the other off the kickoffs, and we've seen that even happening against Rocket Eclair. Suddenly kickoffs were going their way. Just be careful, be careful. Sorry, I'm not supposed to be cheering for VXP, but just for a second, I was really worried for them, and that worry was obviously there was a reason for it. Yet again, they are as if they're penguins not being able to fly. Something about the aerial play of VXP is just lacking.
They just, you know, where I feel that they're really struggling the most is just in their clears. They're letting the guys dictate the play around them. They're letting them get these quick aerial shots, and they're letting them get these offensive opportunities, and you know that could be easily shut down by one good clear from anyone on the team. Instead, they let it go up, and now they managed to turn around. Papa Capes looking devastating off that crossbar today.
Papa Capes has stepped up in a couple of last games, that's for sure. Constantly going aggressively in the face of the opponent, brings this game to a tie. He is, I think, by this point, the top scorer in the whole games that we've seen so far. So VXP better supply him with passes, and they better communicate well on those attacks, like what the DA of the man usually is starting up. Although perhaps something other than the just passes from the flank, such as this, must come in. Although I say that, Papa Capes finishes this game with a 0-second goal, finishes his hat trick as well. Okay, I spoke too soon. Apparently, against the Plakkie Klap, these crosses from the flank off the wall are working just fine. Despite players being there, they again prefer to play way passively. They need to be much more aggressive in clearing those. You see how this goes. If Plakkie Klap doesn't learn to clear these as they start, they clear these plays as they start, they'll just lose the next match as well. But that is 2-0 for VXP, and a fantastic showing by them, but still an incredibly close game. This could have gone either way, but right now it's 2-0 and the match point for VXP.
Really nice play by both teams. Tight from the first second to the last. I mean, the fact that Papa Capes managed to get that in after the buzzer went, I thought we were going to overtime, and he just came out of nowhere across the screen like that to take it in there. Really nice play, and it shows what happens when this VXP side starts to play together. When they get those passing plays, when there's someone there to follow up on a pass by DF the Man. I mean, DF the Man got 2 assists there. He could have had 5 assists in that game just because of the number of balls he put into the center. Instead, his team was sitting back a little bit, and when they started playing a little bit more confidently, when they got some impetus behind them, they really put on a great showing. And I think that Plakkie Klap, like you say, needs to shut that down. You've got to keep it on the defense, got to keep it against this blue net here to make sure that you don't let them get any shots off. If you're the one taking all the shots, you're the one who's dictating the pace of the game, and you're the one who's going to come out on top.
Well, yeah, VXP finally are in control of the game. You couldn't say that when they were playing against Rocket Eclair. They were always on the back foot when it come to that series. Here, they just have their style of play, the one that they're comfortable with, and they're executing every single time. The other men yet again find themselves, though, on a quick clear, and wow, Mr. Noble, a horrible mistake by him, as he puts that in his own net where he shouldn't have at all. That clear, was that ball even going on net? No, he was just trying to clear it forcefully against the wall. Nice shot, says Gingerbeard, but wrong net, buddy, wrong net.
A little bit of friendly animosity coming out between the two of those. I mean, that's one of the most devastating feelings to have, is to put it back into your own net. Now a really nice passing play comes in between them there. Gingerbeard takes it off the wall here, manages to chip it up himself, not even off the wall there, just goes up, thinks about hitting it a second time, but Bayonet reads that he doesn't and puts it at a devastating, blistering pace into that left-hand side. No one from the side of VXP able to get a touch on it, and they managed to just, you know, cut their own losses at the beginning there, shake off that first goal, and really come back and show that they're not out of this game. Certainly, even though they're 2 games down, they're wanting to make sure that they get that reverse sweep chance.
And even VXP can appreciate the quality of that pass and of that shot. The other man and Papa Capes putting up their quick emotes in the chat saying, yes, wow, that was cool. What we see right there is VXP, their reaction times are really a little bit shabby when it comes to saving that. The other man, last man, I think he waited for his teammate to make something, and only then he reacted, oh boy, I will have to do something right now. That was one of those times that I think he should have committed despite a teammate being in front. Because that double safety in the back, well, this time would have saved that ball. Instead, well, it's a goal. Obviously, no chances to contest that as the play was happening, but at least make a better attempt at a save. We're back to a tight game, and the series are still being extremely exciting, with Plakkie Klap getting their chances and not giving up. That's the best thing about them. They're not giving up. They're still executing these plays, and that ball is constantly swinging back in the blue side. With Papa Capes going yet another clear. Obviously, VXP will be looking yet again for him to make these goals.
You know, there we saw just another opportunity, just another example of how the VXP side wants to clear it out. They want to get some attacking opportunities, but a dribble attempt or a bad clear, just backfires on them, and then they leave their ball bouncing in front of their own net, and they get themselves into such a quandary about how to save it or where to go. Now we see it coming back. Mr. Noble, please don't. So we saw Bayonet there coming across, not wanting to replicate that error of his teammate in the first couple of seconds. Now the ball's coming back to the blue side, and you know, VXP just constantly seems to be on the defense. When they're on the offense, they look really good. Look at this. Brilliant shot comes in by Heisenberg Luke there. Reads that bounce so nicely. Picks it up there. Papa Capes goes for the first shot. Mr. Noble not able to get up. Gingerbeard and Bayonet trying to dive desperately across their goals. Not able to get there in time. And, you know, that's what VXP need to keep doing. Is they need to just make sure that they're the ones attacking. If they do that, then they've got no problems in this game. But if they keep letting Bayonet and Mr. Noble and Gingerbeard here put together these passing plays, they could set themselves up for a lot of trouble.
Oh, trouble. Speaking of trouble, the man, that wasn't on target, but I do believe that Plakkie Klap has helped him with that shot. Wow, the precision and the clear aerial plays is suddenly working for everyone on the side of VXP. Even Heisenberg Luke is so much more better when it comes to playing the ball in the air. 2 shots, 3 goals for VXP. Obviously, one of them was an own goal by Mr. Noble. And we seemingly are having ourselves, well, VXP obviously currently in control of the series, 2-0 in their favor. That is the match point for them. The man almost increases the scoreline right there. Roughly half of the match remaining for Plakkie Klap to fix the situation. And if there is a team that can fix it right now, and it would be them. They've played well against VXP for the duration of the series. They've constantly tested them with shots and scored a couple of great goals, which I think they've absolutely deserved. So take your time. 2 goals in 2 minutes is absolutely doable. Just do whatever you've been doing so well. Again, keep your defense a little bit tighter than it's been so far. They're really great when it comes to positioning themselves defensively, despite those problems with clears on the flanks, as we've seen in the previous games. But they know where, when, and how they need to go to defense. It's just a question whether they can do the same in the off.
Seems like Heisenberg there. A lot of good playing there by the side of VXP to try and build some pressure now. Not letting it turn around. We were just saying that they need to be the ones on the attack. Well, they certainly did a good job of it. Nice clear by the side of Plakkie Klap means that they managed to just slow it down a little bit. Gingerbeard's up, looking for a dunk of his own pass in the corner. Does really well to do it. Mr. Noble not able to push back into the center, and that's alleviated all the pressure. Gingerbeard pushes it to the center, but it's straight into Papa Capes, who's instantly into the air. You know, both of these sides just look so good in the build-up, and then there's one bad touch or, you know, one miss that just takes off all that pressure. Now Mr. Noble looks for a push into it. DF the man push it into the corner, trying to push it up, but, you know, he's not clearing it. He's not doing it. He gets a nice dunk there. Mr. Noble looking to take it across the net. 44 seconds left on the board. Plakkie Klap has to get moving and has to get a ball into the back of the blue net. Otherwise, they're out of this competition.
You've said it. It's the fact that they are somehow shabby when it comes to even moving the ball around. Gingerbread Man coming in and taking the ball from his own teammate on some of these plays, and the inability to clear the ball off the back yet again means that I've just praised the Plakkie Klap rotations. Perhaps I spoke too soon. The goal difference at this point is pretty much insurmountable, and Plakkie Klap basically dig their own grave. Okay, the goal difference is slightly a little bit less insurmountable. Bayonet straight from the kickoff. How did he even do that? Papa Capes misses it completely. I think he was trying to do something fancy. Perhaps thought he will be last. But sometimes going fancy is your enemy, as that makes it a 2-goal difference. Can Bayonet repeat that? No, Papa Capes now completely moves Mr. Noble out of the way. Actually, that's a great play. I've never seen a kickoff going like that with the player of the opposing team pushing up someone away from the ball. But that is 5-2. Everyone from the side of BXP has contributed to the score, and the other man basically sails it. There's absolutely no more chances. And this all started with an own goal by Mr. Noble, and has turned into this a 5-2 for VXP, 3-0 in the end, as this scoreline pretty much is non-changeable. Even if a couple goals will be scored, that'll be it. That's the 3-0 in the series, which means that VXP will yet again turn to the upper bracket. As I keep saying, the goals keep being scored, and even Plakkie Klap is just trying to fight for something. Mathematically possible. Perhaps I'll just wait and shut up for a second and let
you're the reason why they keep scoring, because it seems like every single time you're the one who's like, no, there's no way they can do this. They manage to score within 3 seconds of it. So, you know, you just have to chant or something for the side of Plakkie Klap looking to solve this now. But they do have 2 goals down, 1 second left. No matter how many good shots you string together, that is the game. That is our match, ladies and gentlemen. VXP lock themselves a seat in the finals of the competition. Plakkie Klap tried hard, but you know, 1 or 2 little mistakes, 2 shots off their own players went into their net, and that could have been the difference. One by Mr. Noble in the beginning, one by Bayonet trying to make the save, reads it badly off the crossbar and puts it in. Good play to both teams, but it does seem that Plakkie Klap is going to be out of it for now, and we're going to have a revisit of the VXP versus Rocket Eclair.
And Rocket Eclair was, well, we've seen them in action. They are the #1 team in South Africa. For VXP, them against Plakkie Klap, it was a so much even affair. Despite a 3-0 in the series, every single match could have gone either way. We had some tight games, tight showings, overtime, although that might have been the previous series. Definitely the shot count is extremely even. So if these teams meet any other day, I wouldn't be surprised if Plakkie Klap would be able to get a different result going. Certainly they have it in them. Every single player is capable, and well, Rocketeer and Legend ranks mean that they have tons of playtime in Rocket League, so they know how Rocket League works. They know how the whole games it should be played. It's just that today they weren't as lucky, and VXP once again returns and tries to go for yet another chance at that grand prize. I do believe that now they're guaranteed the second place prize, so 1,250 Rand, while the top prize number for first place still remains 2,500.
It's going to be very interesting to see what these guys have to do. I have to ask, before we go to our intermission, what does VXP, what would you be telling your VXP side if you were the captain? You guys have just lost to the best team in South Africa, and pretty devastatingly as well. 3-0 loss, and it comes down to, you know, bad play. Does it come down to bad teamwork? What would you be telling your team to prepare them for this finals?
Well, definitely, well, after this game, especially what I've seen them do against Plakkie Klap, hey, you've got your style. Stick to your style. Don't let the other team dictate the style to you. Play your style of the game. Don't try to do something fancy. If the speed is a little bit too much, you'll have to either to adapt or to slow it down, and then the results will come. I feel that's just play their natural game and do fix a couple of those mistakes when it comes to overcommitting and double committing. There's plenty of chances to talk about that. If you're not in the voice chat, it's detrimental to your own team. I'm not sure if they're really not chatting, then they really should be. So those will be my words. And obviously, just forget about what happened. You are now in the finals yet again. The show that you are here for a reason. Show that the Rocket Eclair perhaps should be brought down a notch again, back from Mars to the moon, or maybe to the landing pad. Just explode them. Just play aggressively, but not as aggressively as to leave your goal empty, really. This all came down to the horrible mistakes in defense from VXP. If they fix those, if they play from the defense, so just put people in defense and slowly get to the attack, I think that should be much better for them, and they might get a different result against Rocket Eclair.
Certainly. Well, the show you guys have all been waiting for is coming up in a couple of minutes. It is the finals of the first qualifier. VXP versus Rocket Eclair. Rocket Eclair has won the upper bracket finals first, so if VXP wants to take this top spot, they're going to need to beat Rocket Eclair in 2 best of 5s. They've got a lot of work coming out for them, but it's certainly not all over. We've seen in many South African competitions the lower team come back and win the competition. So this game is going to be electric. I hope we're going to see some great Rocket League, and I hope to see you guys after the break. We'll be back in just a couple of seconds. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final game. I am Ulturism. If you guys are just joining us, you have missed a lot of good Rocket, Eclair, and VXP and Plakkie Klap, all giving us great Rocket League action here today. I'm Ulturism. Joining me today is Jar of Jam the Magnificent. You probably won't find the Magnificent part on any of the social medias, but I totally believe that they should be here.
Should I add it somewhere like Jar of Jam the Magnificent? Could be. Yet again, Ulturism is really kind, and I'm really happy to be here once again. It has been a while since I've been in South Africa, even virtually, and has never been in there personally. But it's a pleasure to be here. Also, I've just figured out, since it's winter in our northern hemisphere, you guys must be experiencing summer, and I really envy you.
You know, you say that.
Sun.
You say that, but we've had a couple of days. I mean, the one part of South Africa hasn't had rain in like about 8 months or something like that, so it's a horrific drought across here. And where I live is Durban. It's one of the hotter places. We've had days up to 38 degrees Celsius so far.
Okay.
So you know, you have your cold, you can put on an extra jacket. We have our heat, and if you're stuck outside, things can be fun. But talking about heat, we're ready to bring you the rest of this Rocket League action. Rocket Eclair taking on VXP for this finals. VXP has to win 2 best-of-5s to take out Rocket Eclair and claim their place as the first place. The good thing for both of these teams is they have already secured themselves a place at the finals of the MGS Rocket League tournament, brought to you by ACGL and MWEB GameZone. We're ready to jump into the game. I have to ask, Jar of Jam the Magnificent, your predictions for this game. You've now gotten to see both of these teams.
The fact that you address me as Jar of Jam the Magnificent makes me sound like a sort of oracle. Like I sit here in the pose going, oh yes. Well, Rocket Eclair, let's be honest. Oh, if you had to bet, Rocket Eclair would be a safe bet. CPZ, Elf, Nyanfoot showing us some great play. I actually wonder what exactly they did in this break, because how they spend this time might be actually crucial to how the game will unfold. VXP basically played 2 series in a row, won one of them, so the spirits are quite high at this moment. For Rocket Eclair, if they haven't played at all, they might be a little bit rusty coming into this one. So VXP, difference in skill we've seen obviously in the previous series, but how will be the difference in like the preparation, like the fitness as they come to the game?
Well, I'm going to give the side of Rocket Eclair the benefit of the doubt that they were, you know, not wanting to get too Rocket League out, because I saw Nyanfo busy playing Battle Right. Doesn't seem to have dulled any of the edges, though. CPZ managing to take this off. Nyanfo puts it to the right, pulls out because he has no boost. DF the man not able to get a touch to it, and Heisenberg Luke sitting a little bit deep in his goals, and Zebra finds that front right corner, managing to sink that in there, and again he manages to pick up. This has been 4 out of 4 games he's picked up the first goal in each of them.
VXP had absolutely no business in conceding that one. The other man on the flank with the ball just gives it to CPZ, and Heisenberg Luke too slow under rotations. Perhaps yet again the speed of the play will be too much. Wow, how did Nyanfo get that touch? Coming back, still somehow reached it. Quick counterattack by VXP ends in nothing. And hey, Battle Right, by the way, is a great game. If you guys haven't tried it, absolutely free. You can get it on Steam, and it's a 3v3 arena brawler. Also a 2v2 and 1v1 if you so desire. And Heisenberg Luke gets himself a little bit of a Grim Reaper dab as he finds an unlikely goal. Now it's a mistake by Nyanfo. He was stuck on the post just a little bit and couldn't get there in time. VXP tied this one up, and it's a great one. That's a great start for them. That's exactly what they wished for. Quickly getting back into the action, getting a tie. And the kickoffs are still working for them. I love the fact that, see, they are winning the majority of them, I'm pretty sure. If we had the stat line, I'm pretty sure they will have at least like 70 or so %, that is.
You know, what was nice to see there is that Nyanfo did mess up. He didn't get a great clear off there. He tried for the come around to make the save, but got himself caught up on that post. Great save there. That one could have come off the crossbar. But you know, for the first time in this competition, Heisenberg Luke there and the VXP side made their chances count. They saw that Nyanfo had messed up, and with a player like Nyanfo, with a team like Rocket Eclair, they're number 1 for a reason, and that's because they don't make that many mistakes. But here, they saw that they had made a mistake. Heisenberg Luke punishes that mistake, and that's what you need to do if you want to compete at this level of the game.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, previously they were just constantly whiffing. Well, Papa Cave's misjudging the flight of that one. The men coming into this, they are finally going aggressive. And I absolutely love seeing that from VXP. Previously, obviously there were attempts, but many of them missed. VXP still, look at how they defend. They put 3 players. You have a full rotation. You don't need to keep 3 players in defense, 3 players on the net. One of you, who is the closest on the rotation, or the farthest on the rotation, however you look at it, he must go out and try to block the shot. Otherwise, just hoping that one of you will block it, knowing especially how VXP is slow at getting from the ground, is a little bit too passive, and Rocket Eclair previously has been using that to their advantage.
What I'm liking here is that a lot of the VXP guys are getting up before the ball is even shot in. There we see Elf actually taking a great shot there. Bounces down, Zebra passes it to the center, Heisenberg Luke tries for it, Papa Gabe tries to turn around, not able to get it to the side, and then it bounces off Papa Capes. It seemed like the last man back there, I think it was DF the man, actually had a good chance of saving that, was jumping towards it, but that deflection at the last second off Papa Capes meant that went in, and you know, Alpha's going to be very happy. Now manages to steal the boost coming in. Pop up there from Nianfo. Elf and him have a little bit of a collision though, means that no one can follow up from it. Elf stops us coming back, and it gives time for Zebra to make his rotation, to come back around and to clear this out. And now all 3 players of the side of VXP were facing the wrong way. Elf managing to get a pinch now off the last man back. Good awareness there by the side of Rocket Eclair. Zebra manages to put a long ball out, and Elf turns around instantly. He was at halfway, turns around and manages to pinch it off. They've got the 2-goal lead now, which is a much more comfortable position for them.
Elf is playing this game on hard mode, I feel like. He is no longer trying to score a straight shot. No, he's using his opponent's first ram shot of the Papa Capes now on the return to score his second one of the game. The Rocket Eclair already up by 3, 8 shots by them. Once again, the difference in the shot is clear as day. The other man and the rest of his team is still playing aggressively. You can see that they're still putting so many people in front of rather on the attack, and constantly Rocket Eclair are using that to their advantage. A couple of poor clears as well. For example, the one that started the goal for Elf, the previous one, was just off the fact that Papa Capes tried to clear it, but so gently and slowly to the side that basically the ball stayed in the same spot, and from that position, unless your team is rotating to clear this off, the other team who is rotating to attack will get the ball. That's exactly what happens. But VXP still have their chance going, at least even if they don't win in this match. I do feel like there's a difference between what we've seen in series number 1 and now in series number 3. The fact that they are fighting against Rocket Eclair, but constantly now Elf is getting the assist in that one, but yet another bounce from outside and in. These clears are not happening. Look straight to Nianfo, was already coming in.
You know, it's like you say, there is a difference between these 2 series, but it seems like that VXP has stepped up a level, and Rocket Eclair has just managed to step up their own level. They haven't just gone, you know, we beat you the first time by quite a lot, we'll just beat you a little bit this time. They've gone, oh, okay, so you've adapted to our dribble plays or our aerial plays. What we're going to do is we're going to start throwing 3 guys onto the backboard, and you're going to have no chance. I mean, there's been so many passing plays coming out by this Rocket Eclair side. Yeah, Elf manages to get up and put it into the corner, and, you know, just slows it down. Now they're starting to get a bit starved the boost. Now we see 2 of the members of Rocket Eclair going up, trying to feed off Nianfo's pass, and this ball is starting to get very well locked down on the Rocket Eclair side. Good bit of play there means they can turn it to the other side of the field though, and it seems like they just, VXP, never able to really quite finish that and pull the trigger to get that goal into the back of the net.
Well, there's a chance to make it 2 for another buzzer beater from the other man. Nice shot indeed. But what I'm seeing on the field is a VXP, that style of play of bringing the ball on the wall and in the middle of the field, gets thwarted completely by the fact that Elf loves that backboard. He is the Spider-Man, so he does whatever the Spider-Man does. He puts the stop to all the attacks that VXP are doing. So their game plan, the one I've proposed that they should perhaps stick to, is coming undone. They're not able to get anything done, so something else must be happening. Either catch Elf out of the position, or just remove him, bump him out, demolish him, or play something else. And 2 goals, they found 2, I'd say, great goals. Again, first one was off the fact that Rocket Eclair had made a mistake, and Heisenberg Luke was quick enough to pounce on it. Second one was just a great play between the Luke himself and the other man. Now for VXP, again, closer. This is a return. This returns us to the game number 3 between these teams. Look at how VXP are suddenly playing with fire in their bellies. And to remind you that the score of that match was 5-3, if I'm not mistaken. So we are seeing much closer score lines between VXP and Rocket Eclair. Let's see if it will be enough from the side of VXP, that level that they stepped up to, and whether Rocket Eclair has stepped up enough to play against VXP.
Certainly not a case of Rocket Eclair's not making any mistakes. They have seen a couple of those balls just, you know, maybe not a great clear, maybe just the guys pushed up a little too far, maybe a double commits, but it all comes down to VXP now. If they are able to make those plays happen and take advantage of it, here instead we see them being caught on the back foot, and instantly now the ball is staying in that last 25%, close to the blue goal, going back and forth. Zebra stuck in the goals there now. Nyanfo able to come out. Elf and Nyanfo up, and Zebra's rotated back. Now it just seems like Papa Capes has a shot at an open goal. Nyanfo comes across beautifully there, and that's what Rocket Eclair is not doing. Is they're not leaving everyone just sitting flat-footed, or flat-wheeled, I'm guessing is the correct term in Rocket League. They're not just sitting on that goal line waiting to make a shot. They're getting up there, they're getting offensive, and that's exactly what you said that VXP really needs to do if they want to try and have the same sort of defensive prowess.
Well, there's a chance for them as they try to keep the ball on the side of Rocket Eclair, but they just aren't able to do so. Quick clear by Heisenberg Luke, but that brings the whole team of VXP out of the position, as now it's the Elf starting someone on the flank, and you've seen how Rocket Eclair is deadly when it comes to these plays. Even the air plays as coming now off the backboard, and when it's the time to return to the defense, they're also extremely solid. Nyanfo wasn't in the position, but now it's Zebra saving that one. Third man coming slowly. Papa Caves. The rotations are finally working for VXP. They're either confident to start getting those, although that shot just really fell off the Heisenberg's front, and he just punches Alf in the goal and just comes back saying, "Oh, dang it! I wanted to get this, but couldn't do so." How's Elf dribbling skills? Poor it seems, as he loses the ball and attack yet again starts. Now this is the game number 1 between these guys. A tied game until the half point of the match. Almost no shots going. Even Rocket Eclair, despite previously outshooting VXP almost like 8-1 or close to that, now they are the ones currently being outshot, only 2-1. But VXP suddenly has completely stopped any attempts by Rocket Eclair. Although you can see that every single time they get the ball, the speed at which they move to the net, the fact how dangerous are all these movements, it means that Rocket Eclair are still looking to get the series to 2-0 and defeat VXP yet again.
All comes down to, can you make those shots count? I mean, those shots have come in, but we've seen a couple of really weak shots from both sides, mainly VXP though, where they've got an open goal and they've built up such good pressure, and then they don't manage to sort anything out. Instead, Zebra again, CPZ coming off that wall, reading the problem there. Nyanfo gets it across there. DF the man not able to get up to that, and instead Zebra goes all the way across the goal, manages to turn it back. That must have been, 10, 20 degrees that he was aiming at that. That angle was phenomenal, and he's just showing that, Nyanfo is not the only one who can find those tight angles in this game. It's 1-0 to the side of Rocket Eclair, and VXP, again, looking to return this, and they've got to make these shots count.
Well, for Rocket League player, what really shows are 2 very important abilities for Rocket League player: patience and the ability to read the play. Zebra stayed there in the attack close enough. I was also positioning. Let's also bring in positioning into the fact, because he was close enough to react to the play as to when the ball has sailed in his direction. Whoa, they tried to make a team pinch, but all 3 Rocket Eclair members just in the end completely play the ball in the other direction. But Zebra just showed all these 3 amazing abilities or skill sets, and Nyanfo decides to play against his own team. Obviously the powerful clears against the wall do work, but he better be careful of them. Previously we've seen the players of Plakkie Klap trying to clear the ball and just failing to do so completely. Rocket Eclair on the 1-0, still only on 3 shots, so this is yet again VXP keeping them to a very, very average shot count. Shots are still coming in, and those are extremely difficult. And Diaz the man, how is he even backwards in the net? I want to see this play happening. He was waiting. Yeah, by the time Oh yes, I think he just resigned at that point. He saw Elf in the air on the ball cam and said, "Oh, how do I get out of this? I'll just stay still and hope nobody notices me." And a quick kickoff goal. Rocket Eclair are once again demolishing VXP at the end of the game. This is the game number 1 in the very first series we've seen. Almost no action, so back and forth for the whole match, and then suddenly 3 goals from Rocket Eclair. I get a extreme feeling of deja vu, because this is it. Same teams, same scoreline, same way the game has been unfolding. Are we sure we're not watching a replay or a repeat?
I don't think any of our people coming here on YouTube would be very keen to have a repeat of that. I mean, they'd call us up very quickly, but like you say, it's exactly the same playstyle. I mean, it's just this patience from Rocket Eclair that you talked about earlier. They just held it off for as long as they needed, and then they found an opportunity. Here we see a ball coming back. Heisenberg Luke puts it back, but you know, 1 goal when you need 3 to even take it to overtime, and you've got 3 seconds left. Really nice play, but too little, too late. Able to pick out that man in the sense, and you know, maybe they need to play that a little bit more aggressive on their attacks, because right now they're letting it go, and just seems that Rocket Eclair is able to just hold that patience for the whole game until they find that opportunity. Poke here, prod there, see if you can get a chance, and when the chance comes, they take it emphatically. Rocket Eclair manages to pick up the 2nd game. It now means that VXP not only has to win the next 3 games in a row, they need to win the next 3 without dropping a game, then go into another best of 5. So a very tall order for the side of VXP still to come in this competition. Are we going to see our 3rd whitewash of the day? I hope not, personally.
Yeah, well, here's hoping that the game suddenly turns around. Again, VXP, they have, I'd say they have no chances in beating Rocket Eclair in a fair fight. So maybe bring out all the dirty tricks and try to, like, squeeze that win out. And unfortunately, they'll have to do this 3 times in a row. But it's still doable. It's still doable for them. I'd say for next time they will meet Rocket Eclair, whatever the result of today's matches would be, they have a lot of work to do. But I think that work is still possible. It just for VXP, they fought well, but there was a quick chance for a quick opener by Rocket Eclair. Yet again, the control is there. Rocket Eclair grabbed the ball and just run with it for the whole match. And look at that, Zebra waiting for his opponent to come towards him and make a mistake. Not being too aggressive, knowing that he might either the last man standing, or even if he's not, the man behind will sort of stay there and keep the goal safe. So he is not hurrying anywhere. He's playing as I think a professional Rocket player should play. Either show extreme amounts of patience, or just, wow, that's a long clear. Or just be really precise. Oh my god, the other man, again, wrong net. We've seen some great shots, but wow, that's really the wrong side. Quick counterattack, as Diaz even didn't have to clear this, really. It was okay. Nianfo, I think, was on the wrong angle completely coming to that one. Well, that was a great attempt at, wow.
You know, the best part, though,
wants to start this. Yeah.
The best part is that Zebra is again the one who got that goal. He is maintaining his streak. So far, 6 out of 6 games managing to get that scripted. Yeah, guys, please, this is not, we promise that this is a free and fair competition. All of these teams are coming. I don't think you can really script that sort of deflect by DF the man to come in and score that goal there. And it just seems like, again, this VXP side not managing to get up properly, not managing to get their clears, and the ball never left that corner of the map. And Zebra manages to go up. Elf manages to get a lovely touch off the back, and Zebra waits around, stays on that offense, doesn't go back, manages to get a nice little touch as it comes down onto his head, puts into the top right hand corner, and gets the dabbing Reaper just as a bit of reward for himself.
Wow, yeah, that dabbing Reaper is something else. And really for CPZ, he's also, let's add all these qualities that he has, he's also efficient. Really, he wasn't actively playing at the ground. He was just waiting for the ball to bounce to him. And the whole VXP was just all over the field, flying left and right, expanding boost. CPZ was just waiting there carefully, and he waited for his chance. Nianfo now powerfully puts it into net. How fast was it? So only 77 kilometers per hour. That felt quicker. Zebra with a great pass, and DF the man again finding himself in a position when he is the last man defending, and he just can't get the challenge done. the duel does not go his way, and he's unable to stop any of the shots. So 3-0, again, a quick one from Rocket Eclair. If this will be the repeat of game number 2, this will still feel extremely weird, because we are seeing a complete... Well, obviously the game number 2 was has avoided being the Groundhog Day style of thing, because there was a goal, the 0-second goal from VXP, but it's still pretty much the same. And the efficiency, yet again, from Rocket Eclair, 3 shots, 3 goals. They are not putting more effort into this than they need to, and they're still winning.
They know exactly how to go up for the touches. It's just, I'm loving the way that they're playing together, making sure that, okay, I can't get a shot, so you know what I'm going to do is I'm not going to give it to the other team. I'm not going to just put a soft shot floating into the center, letting them clear it out easily. Instead, they're looking for a teammate, maybe taking a soft touch, bring it down into their hood. Here we see a nice pass into the center from Nianfo. Zebra was waiting there. Quick reply, though, from VXP meant that nothing could happen out of that. Nianfo is not prepared to let this go yet. Zebra is now rotating around to challenge Heisenberg Luke. Elf takes it up onto the roof. Heisenberg Luke gets the touch, but puts it all the way over. Now a touchdown into the center by Nianfo. No one from VXP able to come up and tackle him. That could have been a very, very dangerous, a very costly mistake for them. But now we see that just again, Heisenberg Luke not taking the chance. That was a play there. Nianfo looking for the goals, can't get his tires onto the ground soon enough. And still 3 goals up though for the side of Rocket Eclair.
Yeah, they want to be don't want to feel too bad about missing that one. I think Zebra was again trying to score a goal off one of the players of VXP as they were trying to clear the ball out. Yep, you see the difference in the play really. When Rocket Eclair are in the attack, watch as they move on the field. Watch as quickly all of their players see that, yeah, this is our chance. We can rotate back quickly, just quick drifting rotation. We're just and immediately go back and take a shot. For VXP, it's more like, oh, do we get a chance? Okay, good. So when they're in the right position, they're getting it. And more often than not, they're just not in there. And you see how late they react to some of these jumps. Despite this being the equal ping opportunity, let's just say that, and low ping opportunity, it still feels like their actions and their reaction to the play is lagging just a little bit. And that is, well, that's one. Sometimes it's a skill, yes. Sometimes it's just how you react to the play. Elf, wow, a rare mistake by him, as he misses that one, but the post does save the Rocket Eclair team in the end as they start yet another attack. With VXP they push their play up to the midfield. Heisenberg is in the back, last man, but certainly will be starting an attack right here. But nothing is coming out of that one. Just he went for it. Bless him, but it's just that the shot that he made, just to clear straight toward the Rocket Eclair, just does nothing. Grants the possession to them and no control. He even tries to go for demolish, misses, and the ball just stays in one spot with no one taking it.
It's very interesting to see there, like Heisenberg Luke's shot there came in, but it was very soft, and it's that difference of 10% worth of accuracy. Now we see Papa Capes making a long shot down to the center, just not able to clear it as the Rocket Eclair side. We see 2 men diving onto the backboards and into the nets there. Elf being the last man back, not able to push it to the side, and 12 seconds left. The VXP side gonna have a very tough task on them, but when they take their shots, they're soft. They're getting it on their wheels. They're getting it on the bottoms of their cars or the sides of their cars, whereas the Rocket Eclair side is reading it perfectly. As I talk, maybe I'm the one doing the commentator's curse this time, because here Heisenberg Luke manages to actually get a flick over the 2 last defenders. It seems like Zebra CPZ didn't go for that first initial contest, and 9 seconds left. We have seen them slot in goals just before overtime. They're going to need to do it this time now. Zebra pushes it away, and when it's going up into your own corner, you don't put a lot of confidence. And there Zebra just wants to get the hat trick, slots that final goal in, manages to secure the game, and great pass from Nianfo to set that up over the top of Heisenberg Luke. And Zebra puts the first nail in the coffin of the sides, the VXP side that he's facing every game, and he decides to put the last nail in it as well in this final game.
I say if we had to pick an MVP of the whole tournament, it has to be Zebra. For the side of VXP, the MVP for their team, I would say is Papa Capes. If just looking by the goals, I do believe he has scored the most for their team. But on occasion, the other men, Heisenberg Luke, themselves have stepped up. Heisenberg maybe a little bit more than the other man. The man was caught up in the defense way too many times, I think. And it has been the cause of too many goals conceded. For Rocket Eclair, well, You've told me at the beginning of this tournament they're the #1 Rocket League team in South Africa, and coming out of this tournament, well, having confirmed that, really, Rocket Eclair, bravo, they played well. Zebra, Nyanfo, and L, 3 extremely confident and capable players. And if at any point you guys want to play in some European tournaments, we'd love to have you there to showcase your skill, because I'm pretty sure there's plenty of skill. And maybe the world is ready for the South African invasion.
We're just sneakily coming up here, just hiding on our own, developing our skills, and you're going to see we're going to break out into the international scene with aplomb and really just devastate a lot of the teams. Don't worry, we're working on that. We'll come out there and join you guys in the European servers in a couple of weeks, I'm sure, or at least a couple of months. I know that a lot of the guys really want to, and a couple of them do join into a couple of those European tournaments. I hope to see a lot more of our teams going there, because they really showed today what a good team can do. Rocket Eclair didn't put a foot wrong. They made 1 or 2 little mistakes in the games, but they managed to cover up most of the time. Just the one goal coming from Heisenberg Luke, really, that punished any sort of mistakes, but we'll just blame that all on Nyanfo. He's the one who can take that blame, and the rest of the team doing very, very well. Like you say, CPZ just, you know, locking in every one of those shots. He sees an open net, or he sees even a half a chance, and he puts a blistering shot into a good corner. Good placement, good rotations, good mechanical skill from the whole side of Rocket Eclair. The other 2 teams maybe just need to go back, put in some more practice hours, just get those hits a little bit cleaner. They go into the air. They need to get up quickly, and they need to get up into the right place to put in a good shot. It doesn't help hitting it with your tires and putting a 2 or 3k an hour shot onto the goals. That gives the other team so much time to just rotate around. And, you know, you've got a very small window against a good team for getting in shots. You've got to make sure that window counts.
Yeah, if we're just talking about Rocket Eclair as a team, I'd say the things that we say about them are only praising. Really, the fact that they are working as a unit, making those passing plays work. Like, you see that they either practice it or are comfortable in making them. The fact that every single individual player knows their place on the field and is quick enough on their feet to be work well both in defense and the offense. It's just the team that is one. Well, it's a team, like, with a capital T and capital E and A and M, I guess, as well. So Rocket Eclair, if they win the whole thing, the whole tournament that will happen next year, the finals, I wouldn't be surprised. I think they thoroughly deserve it. I would love to see their other opponents that will play there, obviously. But from what they're shown in this one, they're up there. They're up there with the best teams right now on both the North American and the European scenes. A bubble team, I would say. Perhaps a wild card if we're speaking in the terms of RLCS World Championship. But still, wow, I'm impressed. I was impressed during the first tournament that I've casted with you guys. I'm still impressed.
I'm very glad to hear you say that, guys. That just shows what potential the South African scene has. So thankful for you guys for tuning in. So thankful for guys like ACGL and RLX and MWEB GameZone who helped bring you this tournament. And, you know, this is only the first part of this tournament. If you guys want to see more action, I'm sure you do. Jara said it himself, is, you know, these guys are guys to watch out. We want to see who's going to be taking on VXP and Rocket Eclair in those finals that are coming up next year. There is a second qualifier coming up. I'm pretty sure the entries open for that, I think, around the 15th of December. Make sure to get onto that Facebook group. Make sure to follow everyone on Twitter, on Twitch, on Stream, on everything, guys, on all of the social media, so that you don't miss a single bit of the action. We would love to bring you that action. I know I'm going to be here to bring you that. I'm pretty sure we're going to try and get Jaren, if he's available at that stage, to bring you some of the action coming on for those next games. But guys, it has been an absolute pleasure. Congratulations to VXP and Rocket Eclair for qualifying for that final tournament. Jar, any final words that you'd like to say to the South African crowd that has joined us here today?
Oh, dang it. I should have prepared something in Afrikaans just to surprise everyone. I have no time to type that into Google Translate. I'm pretty sure of that. So all I can say is thank you. Again, thanks very much for inviting me. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've been doing something from the South African scene, but I have a lot of friends there. Again, just one big shout out to Elf, Ulturism, cool guy, and as well as the Neek, who has messaged me in the middle of the doll. Thank you as well. Kind words from everyone, and obviously everyone in the chat. And quick plug-in, Twitter at JargsJam, Twitch at twitch.tv/JarOfJam. Follow, they're here everywhere. And I hope to see you sooner or later on the Rocket League fields.
Guys, Jar does a great job of streaming almost every day. He does a huge amount of work. Make sure you go across to his Twitch channels, his YouTube channels if he's got one. And make sure you follow him and myself on all our social media sites. That's enough plugging for today, though. Catch us next time, guys, as we bring you the second qualifiers. That's coming up in just a couple of weeks. It's been a beautiful time hosting it here for you today, and we hope to see you guys in no time. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers.